stories of our lives, words on a page, create a special feeling that become memories. Favorite melodies sung in harmony, lyrics that will tell your story. Come and join the adventures that we now share.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Songs of Our Lives, a program where we interview senior citizens about the role that music has played in their life. This episode will feature local arts therapist and playwright Linda Lord, as she shares how music has played such an integral part in her life. She will be interviewed by our own lovely Lois Rindlisbacher. We'll also hear from Danielle Samson Lembke, who is a wonderful local musical artist. She will answer Linda's song request with a performance of You Say by Lauren Daigle, and will be accompanied by pianist Chris Borshuk.
Good afternoon, Linda. It's so nice to have you here in our studio looking at Linda Lord and your life and the role that music has played in your life. So we're here to talk about memories and moments. I love those two words when they're put together, especially when we're talking about music and songs. And so tell us a little bit about Linda Lord and who you are and where you've come from beginning to where you are today.
Well, I would like to start actually with a memory that came up for me when you were saying those words. When I was a little girl, I'm an only child, and when I was a little girl, I used to travel in my mom and dad's truck with them, and we always had the radio on, and for years it was, oh my goodness, there's been another fire in McGregor. And I was like, I was little, it's like, McGregor must be a really fire-prone town. No, it was my mother who was mishearing the radio announcer Byron McGregor, his name. And so from early childhood, I've had this appreciation for music and this conflict of radio personalities versus small town fires. So that was what came up for me when you said about my early memories. But music has been a part of my life forever. Both of my grandmothers are musicians, piano players. My grandmother on my mother's side was a pianist for the church, and my grandmother on my father's side actually taught piano. And my mother credits those early piano lessons with her meeting my father, even though they lived right across the road from each other, because my mom would go to my grandmother for piano lessons, and she would struggle through the first verse of a hymn, and my grandmother would say, very good, now play the second verse, and my mother would be traumatized by that. So I took piano lessons when I was younger. I wasn't particularly good at it, but I do have music on both sides. My grandmother, my dad's mom, used to play for square dances. Fun. And she just used to make the piano dance. I mean, just so a tremendous appreciation for music growing up. And as anyone who has been on the planet for more than a couple of years, you have trauma. And music has been a stabilizing factor for me during difficult or challenging times in my life. And You'll Never Walk Alone was my theme song when my first marriage ended. And just knowing that I wasn't alone, and to hold my head up high, and that there will be storms in life, that we have ways of getting through. Some of us choose healthy ways, some of us have less healthy ways of coping, but music has been that anchor for me that has kept me focused, kept me motivated. And whenever, to this day, when I hear that particular song, and there are a variety of versions of it that I like to hear, depending on my mood, but it will still transport me back to that time in my life where music really anchored me and helped me to know that there was going to be a tomorrow worth getting up for. And you asked a little bit about what I do. So I have my PhD in expressive arts therapy with a specialization in bringing meaning to disenfranchised grief through drama and storytelling. Additionally, I lead workshops, and one of the workshops I lead is on resilience. And the final exercise that I do with participants is we create a playlist of music that has been important to them as they have gone through difficult times, music that they can anchor into that helps them with their own resilience. And I have to say, I do this with a variety of ages. And when I do it with high school students, I don't know 95% of the songs, but I keep track and I have a running list. And at the end of the school year, depending on how many workshops I've led, I'll maybe have 50 or 60, 75 songs. And I'll go back and I'll listen to some of them. And honestly, I can't imagine why some of the songs are motivating or inspiring to this generation, but that's not mine to judge, right? They are powerful songs for them. There's something that has touched them and helped them through a difficult time, or helped them to stay motivated or to build that resilience. I listen to them and kind of go, okay, and just accept that music is as powerful and meaningful to them as it is to me.
Sure. The lyrics of the songs, the melodies, it could be a variety of things. I love how you put the best adjective was it's a healthy way of coping, to be resilient, to be empowered, to be stronger, to get through the day, all of those things that we're all just trying to do on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So would that be one of your favorite songs? Say the name again of it.
You'll Never Walk Alone.
You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah, the Aretha Franklin version is probably one of my favorites.
Okay.
But there are other versions of it that, depends on. There's a Celtic women's version too, which is more choral and really quite beautiful. Depends what mood I'm in.
Sure.
What version of it I want to listen to.
Sure.
And I have several playlists that I have on my phone depending on the mood. And being perfectly transparent, I have a song list specifically to trigger tears. Because sometimes life is overwhelming, but to face the overwhelm on my own, I won't cry. I don't go near the emotion of it. But I can listen to a song that will be particularly sad, or parenting songs will get me every time. The role of moms and children.
Oh, yes.
And grow up and live your best lives, and I'm going to let go of
and
you
I'll
now.
Always love you.
And I'll always love you. And I weep, right, with permission. So I do use music that way as well, to open the floodgates of that emotional portal that I may or may not choose to go to on my own, because who wants to be a weeping mess? But we all respond to movies and music.
What would a movie be without music?
Absolutely nothing.
I can watch a movie with my husband, and I'm right into the every word and he'll be like, "Oh, listen to that music." I'm like, I don't even hear it sometimes, but to a musician, that's what he hears, and the ups and downs and the orchestration of and different instruments, the flute, the piano, the whatever. So music says so much to so different people, all at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and that's like watching a movie or a play with me for dialogue.
Right.
Because of the playwriting and the storytelling.
Yes.
It's like, they wouldn't say that.
That's right.
Note. But so I really appreciate, well, first of all, Ian's talent and expertise.
Right.
But yeah, you do. You listen with a trained ear, and you listen with an ear for particular messages in the music, and you see how it comes together, especially in soundtracks. They work together.
I'm a lyricist. I'll write the lyrics. So when I listen to some songs, I'm like, oh, I don't think I would have said it that way, but it touches somebody else in a different way.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it all, right? And what would you say motivates you the most from music? Like, you've got a various dialogue there, having said a number of different things. But what motivates you? Do you like the sad songs, the happy songs, what triggers emotions from your past, and then even for today? What are some songs that you like from today that motivate you and get you going and get you where you need to be?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lauren Daigle and J.J. Heller.
Yes. Okay.
Those songs will get me every time.
Yep.
What I do now, though, is I like music that I can move to. So I have a dog that should be going for more walks than she is. So when we get out and we go for a walk, I dance with her.
Do you think that's something that we've never really tapped into or talked about? Do you think, and dogs, they say how intelligent dogs are. Do you think the music affects them? Probably not as much as it does to us, but do you think music affects pets as well?
I do.
Thought about that.
I do,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I bet it
do.
really does.
Because it's part of their environment, and they have
Sure.
such sensitive ears.
Sure.
And such acute hearing.
Sure.
Right? So, yeah, there
Does she dance with you?
She does.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll be walking. So I live on a property that has a lane that's about 3/4 of a mile long. So it's 1.5 miles. I'm old school. I talk about that. I don't talk about kilometers. So it's about 1.5 miles when we do it from end to end.
Sure.
And I'll put on some music and I'll dance around her and I'll kind of, move myself down the lane. And then all of a sudden she'll start and she'll kind of lumber along, and then she gets a little bit like, she's a big old girl, right? And
right.
She's not a gazelle. But she does respond to the music. And I think even maybe more so she responds to my energy in response to the music.
Sure.
So if I'm listening to a heavy song, then I move more heavily.
Right.
And there's that around me.
Yeah.
But with inspirational songs and with songs with a little bit more upbeat, because, I like the sugary stuff from the 50s too, because we all want happy endings. And the boy gets the girl, and the girl gets the boy, and we all live happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
Why not?
Yeah.
Has to exist somewhere. And so I'll put some of that really light music, that cotton candy music, and we dance to that. And I'll dance around her, and I think I mentioned that. But she does. She's very responsive to it.
Yeah, I can actually picture people with their felines or dogs, cats, and up on two legs and holding the other two and kind of dancing around. So makes sense.
It does.
Makes sense.
I have done that with younger dogs and smaller dogs. We've always had dogs, but nothing that would up too much, and she certainly couldn't do that because she's got some pretty bad hips, but I have seen that as well.
That's awesome.
We just kind of
awesome.
And she'll put her head on my shoulder and we'll kind of that's you shouldn't be slow dancing with your dog, I guess. Please edit that out.
Now again, you're very creative. Have you ever written music? Or you mostly just like to listen to it, sing it, that sort of thing, but have you ever written any music or had any part in doing that?
I haven't written lyrics per se. I've written spoken word pieces that are lyrical.
Okay.
But I'm not a lyricist.
Okay, because you're a playwright. You've written hundreds, I would say, plays.
Oh, probably if you counted all the monologues that I've done over the years, we're probably in triple digits at this point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And do you like to, when, especially being in the theater, you're also in theater, do you have music put behind those monologues and different plays and things that you've done? And varieties of, or what type? Or do you like it better with no music?
It's a really good question. I'm trying to think. I have used music. I use them in backgrounds on the reels that I'm doing now for Instagram.
Okay.
I was encouraged to do that. But I would really like to be able to get to the point where I can move from the drama to a piece of music and sing it myself and then go back into the dramatic piece. I think that in my work, the piece that's really missing for me to take sort of the next step professionally is my ability to be able to sing.
You actually have expressed that, and so
Yes.
you joined our choral choir and wanted to, excel at that too. Everything you seem to touch turns into gold, so it's a good thing.
I love music. I'm very shy when it comes to singing in public because, early voices in my childhood were like, just be part of the choir. Or, my uncle used to say that I was, there's one way to sing and that's so low and far away.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like, okay, I'll just do that then. So the singing and also dance. In university, I took a dance class. It wasn't even an elective. It was an after university class evening experience. And we were going to have this recital and the instructor came to me and she goes, "You're going to run the boombox, okay?" I was like, "Do I not get to dance?" She goes, "No, you don't get to dance." And so it took me decades to overcome that.
Wow.
And for my master's program, I had to do other art forms, and one was a dance. I had to take a dance class, and I had to choreograph, and I had to present my own choreography, and it was like, oh no.
Wow.
So the dancing piece I've kind of started to overcome. The singing, that's sort of the next iteration, and then we'll see what comes after that.
Isn't it very interesting how one person's comment can just put us just on a definite different road than where we thought we were going to go.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where music really plays in my life. It's that uplifting music. It's thinking I can overcome this, or whatever the song may be. The inspiring songs, the inspiring lyrics that say, no, I can do this, you know. So it's interesting what role music does have in our lives and plays in our lives.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you could say stands out in your mind about the songs in your life and things that you've done and where you're at?
Yeah. Just to acknowledge the role of music, and there's sacred music and there's secular music, and I think sometimes those lines should be blurred because we never know what song is going to speak to someone. We never know what song might have a message that saves a life, changes a life, and that music is a gift for those that perform it and present it, and for those who are open to receive it.
I love the saying that music is a language all unto itself.
It is.
It's a universal language, that's for sure.
Yeah, and in my studies and the work that I've done, it is the purest art form as well, because both sides of your brain are engaged simultaneously.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Love the information, love the interaction, love the facts, love the, what's the word I'm looking for? And you said it, the transparency of what your life has been and the role that music has played in it. So thank you, Linda. This has been awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
you.
2.
So talking about listening to music, being part of music, have you been to any concerts, we'll say lately or in the last number of years, something that has stood out in your mind and your heart, because that's what music really touches.
Yes.
What concerts have you been to, and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's funny. My first concert was Anne Murray at Boblo.
Oh.
Yes, with my cousin, and we were sitting way in the nosebleed section, and that was like, ooh, this is so exciting.
Exactly.
And yeah,
Canadian
Canadian artist.
Boblo Island.
Yeah, I mean, it was
That was
all
our
of that,
place.
right?
Sure.
Yeah. So it was with my cousins. I've never been to a concert with my parents. I was invited to a Sean Cassidy concert many years ago to go with friends of mine from high school, but I was going to be out of town and I couldn't get back in time, and so I totally missed that. They came to my birthday party with the Sean Cassidy concert t-shirt, so it's like, ouch, twice, ouch. So that was an experience. And then I went to a concert with my aunt and uncle at Ontario Place, where they used to do the concerts on the lawn.
Sure.
And it was a Beethoven concert.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no.
Nice. No, outstanding.
No,
No,
I was in
horrible?
elementary school. Oh, I'm sure it was
Oh,
beautiful.
okay.
At Ontario Place, you want to go to Ontario Place. You don't want to sit on the lawn and listen to a Beethoven concert. I timed it. I forget which song. It was 24 minutes. That's 24 minutes of my childhood life
you'll
I couldn't
never
get
get
back.
Interesting.
But it stuck.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
even now, if I'm driving and I'm distracted, or there's something going on that's kind of occupying my headspace, I will put on a classical station and I will just let the instrumental speak to me. So even those moments that we don't necessarily think are positive experiences with music, they're imprinted.
Sure.
And we carry them with us.
Part of the blocks of life.
Yeah.
Get you to where you are now, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
awesome.
so I'm not a big concert goer. I
Uh-huh.
never really was. That wasn't part of my growing up. I have friends who have attended a lot of concerts. New Year's Eve, I heard Black Orchid. They were playing at the Riverside Sportsman, and they were down at the casino last weekend. And so smaller concerts, more
Sure.
intimate gatherings,
Sure.
seem to be where I'm headed these days.
Right, yeah, fun and music, right?
Yeah.
What would you say, so in our time here together, would be your requested song? What song is one of your favorite songs? And even give us a couple of them. But where would you say in your heart lies the favorites?
Right. Well, I did mention You Never Walk Alone, and although I would love to hear that one, I'm actually not going to request that because it is very specific to a time in my life out of which I have grown and healed.
Beautiful. And music helped you in that.
Absolutely it
That's
did.
beautiful.
Right?
Yep.
So I would say probably it's a Lauren Daigle song, You
Okay.
Say,
You say.
because sometimes I get caught in my head and I forget who I am. And it isn't really about who I am anyway, it's about who God says I am.
Right.
And that song speaks to that.
It's a
So if
beautiful
I could
song.
request any, it would be that one.
That's beautiful.
And maybe it'll be meaningful to someone else who hasn't heard it
Absolutely,
before.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes those they're called little nuggets that we have in the music world, and it's like some of the theater or the shows that we see. I've never heard some of these very obscure songs, but boy, can they ever speak to our hearts? So, and that's what we want: music that speaks to our hearts, changes our lives. So, Linda, thank you again for being here with us,
My pleasure.
and we hope that you've enjoyed this segment of the Songs of Our Lives.
Thank you, Lois and Linda, for sharing the songs and stories of your lives with our audience. Now we have a treat for you. We will hear from vocalist Danielle Samson Lembke and pianist Chris Borshuk as they perform their rendition of Lauren Daigle's You Say, for Linda and all of you, our viewers. Take it away, Chris and Danielle.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe what you say to me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe what you say to me. I believe. Taking all I have and I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours.
Thank you, Danielle and Chris, for your great performance. Thank you to Ian Smith for filling out the sound with strings, synthesizers, and drum tracks. What a great song. Thanks also goes to Lois Rindlisbacher and Linda Lord on your nice interview. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Songs of Our Lives. My name, Wendell Phipps.